What up, what up? Welcome to Mr. Brown's class where there's no whining and no complaining. Today we're looking at the distributive property to simplify rational expressions. Now, rational expressions just means that there's a variable as a denominator. Now we're going to get to in a later video on that these variables cannot equal 0, alright, because you can't divide anything by 0. Alright, but we'll get into that in a later video. Alright, now we're going to use the distributive property to just simplify. So these are going to look ugly at the end. Alright, but we know how to use the distributive property. Okay, we take a term and we multiply that term towards everything on the inside of the parentheses. Because we can't put these together because they don't have like denominators. Okay, so we're going to slowly multiply these. So x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. Alright, on the bottom, we do the same thing. Y squared times y is y to the third. Alright, now let's move to the next term. X squared times 3, there's no x's in here. So it's going to be 3x squared y to the third. And on the bottom we have y squared m. Alright, now you always have to look at being able to reduce. Now we can't reduce anything here, but we can reduce here the y's. So notice how there's 3 y's on top and 2 on bottom. Well, these are going to cancel out. And they're going to cancel out 2 of the ones on top. So your final answer is going to be x to the fourth over y to the third. That stays the same. Plus 3x squared y over m. And we can't put these together because this has a y to the third. The denominators are unlike. So this is our final answer. And make sure that you simplify at the end. A lot of people forget to do that. Okay, let's look at this one. Alright, so we're going to take the m times the axp. So we're going to do it in alphabetical order. Let's change the color. It's a little bit too dark. Okay, so A. Alright, let's do it in alphabetical order. So A, M, P, X over, right, M, K, M, Z minus, we're going to take that M to this. Now, remember that this is over 1, right? Anytime that you have a term, okay, so this is going to be, it's always over 1 if there's not a denominator. So we take 2, and then m times m to the fourth is going to be m to the fifth, and then just p to the fourth over z times 1 is z. Now let's see if we can reduce anything. Now we can cancel out these m's. You have an m on top and an m on bottom. That cancels out. And I don't see anything else that we can cancel out. So we're going to have a, p, x over kz minus 2m to the fifth p to the fourth over z. And again, you can't put this together because this has a k and this only has a kz and this has a z. So this is your final answer. Okay, now these get a little bit trickier because these have negative exponents. Alright, so what I like to do is change everything to having a positive exponent first. Okay, so remember that if it has a negative exponent, it moves to the top and has a positive exponent. So we're going to have b to the third, d to the third over 1. Remember that it's over 1. Alright, now this has no negative exponent, so we're going to keep this the same. And this is going to go down to the bottom because it has a negative exponent. So d over b f to the third. Now I'm going to use the distributive property. Okay, so I multiply, we have 3 b's, 2 b's, so 2b to the fifth, we add the exponents, d to the third over d, you can see that we can reduce later, okay, minus, all right, again, b to the third, d to the fourth, over b 5f to the third. Okay, now let's cancel out, let's reduce. So we have 3 d's up top, only 1 d down here. So now we're going to have 2 d's, and this is going to cancel out. So that 1d canceled out one of these. All right, so we're left with just a 1 on the bottom. So let's write that over here. 2b to the fifth d squared. All right, now this b is going to cancel out one of these, and that's all that you can cancel out. So minus b squared d to the fourth over f to the third, and that's our final answer. One last one. Why don't you pause it and see if you can figure this one out on your own. Okay, so again, let's do where we get rid of the negative exponent. So let's come over here. So we're going to have this n's going to come down to the bottom. So we have 1 over n m n. All right, now this n's going to come up top. This p is going to come up top. So we have m x n to the third p to the fifth over c. All right, plus, now remember that this is over 1, so 5, and then those are going to go to the bottom, so n to the fourth p to the fifth. Now everything's positive. Okay, now let's take, and since this is 1, everything up here is going to stay the same. So m x n to the third p to the fifth. All right, now the bottom's a little bit trickier. M and c. 5. Now m, there's going to be 5 n's. Right, and 5 p's. So we really have to go slow when we're doing this. Now we can reduce. Okay, so we have an m up top. That cancels out that m. All right. This n cancels out one of these n's. All right. And that's it. And we can't cancel out anything over here. So our final answer is going to be x n squared p to the fifth, we're going to run out of room, over c plus 5 m n to the fifth p to the fifth. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so really go slow. Pay attention to the negative exponents and then also reducing at the end. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe and like below, and remember to be more awesome.